Have you ever wondered what you are made of? If you could shrink down, smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than a speck of dust, you would discover a hidden world. This world is made of tiny living building blocks called cells. Everything that is alive is made of cells. Think about it. You, your dog, the trees outside, and even the tiniest little bug are all constructed from these amazing units. Some living things, like bacteria, are made of just one single cell. But you are made of trillions and trillions of them, all working together in a giant, incredible community. It's a universe inside of you. The word cell actually comes from an old word meaning small room. That's a great way to think about them. Each cell is like a tiny room, or even better, a miniature city or a castle. Each one has its own walls, its own power source, and its own control center. These little cell cities are where all the action of life happens. They take in food, create energy, and get rid of waste. They build everything your body needs to grow and stay healthy. Without cells, there would be no life at all. They are the fundamental, basic unit of every living creature on planet Earth. To understand how a cell works, let's imagine it as a magnificent castle. This castle is a busy, bustling place full of different parts and workers, each with a very specific job to do. Everything has a purpose, from the outer walls that protect the castle to the ruler who gives all the commands. Just like a real castle, a cell needs to be organized to function properly. If even one part stops doing its job, the whole castle can run into trouble. So, let's get our imaginations ready, shrink ourselves down, and take a grand tour of one of these incredible cell castles. Before we step inside, we must pass through the castle's first line of defense. This is called the cell membrane. In our castle, the cell membrane is like a strong but flexible wall, complete with watchful guards at every gate. These guards are very careful about who and what they let in or out. They allow important supplies like nutrients and water to enter the castle, but they keep out unwanted intruders. At the same time, they let the castle's garbage and finished products exit in an orderly fashion. This careful control keeps everything inside the cell safe, sound, and perfectly balanced. Once we get past the guards at the cell membrane, we find ourselves in a vast, open courtyard. This area is filled with a thick, gel-like substance that fills the entire castle. This substance is called the cytoplasm. It's not just empty space, it's more like the bustling grounds of the castle where everything happens. All the different buildings and workers of our cell castle are located here, floating and moving around within this jelly-like cytoplasm. It provides a cushioned, watery environment that helps protect all the important structures from bumping into each other and getting damaged. It's the stage where the drama of life unfolds. At the very center of our castle, we see a large, majestic keep. This is the most important building of all, the nucleus. The nucleus is the control center, the brain of the whole operation. It's where the king or queen of the castle lives, making all the important decisions and giving out all the orders. The nucleus holds the castle's most precious treasure, a set of ancient blueprints. These blueprints contain all the instructions for how to build and run the entire cell castle. This master plan is called DNA, and it determines everything about the cell and ultimately about you. Inside the grand keep of the nucleus there is a special, smaller room. This room is called the nucleolus. If the nucleus is the king's throne room, the nucleolus is the royal office where important decrees are written. Specifically, the nucleolus has one major job. It builds the castle's skilled workers. These workers are called ribosomes, and they are absolutely essential for the castle's survival. The nucleolus is constantly busy, producing thousands and thousands of these tiny ribosome workers, which are then sent out from the nucleus into the main castle grounds to begin their important construction work. Speaking of ribosomes, let's find some. These tiny little dots are the craftspeople and builders of our cell castle. Their job is to build things, specifically proteins. Proteins are the machines and structures that do almost all the work in a cell. The ribosomes get their building instructions directly from the DNA in the nucleus. They are like tiny construction workers who read the blueprints and then assemble the materials needed to build everything from strong support beams to tiny messenger molecules. Without these hard-working ribosome builders, our castle would quickly fall into disrepair and would not be able to function at all. Now, let's look at the transportation system within our castle. Spreading out from the nucleus is a massive network of winding tunnels and passageways called the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short. This is like the castle's system of hallways and workshops. Some of these hallways are covered with our ribosome construction workers, making this part the rough ER. Here, proteins are built and then folded into the right shapes. Other hallways are smooth, called the smooth ER, and this is where other substances, like fats, are made and processed. This whole network ensures that things can be made and moved around the castle efficiently. Near the ER, we find another fascinating structure that looks like a stack of flattened pancakes. This is the Golgi apparatus, and it acts as the castle's post office and gift wrapping center. After proteins and fats are made in the ER, they are sent here. The Golgi apparatus inspects them, sorts them, and then packages them up for delivery. Some packages are meant for other places inside the castle, while others are prepared to be shipped out of the cell entirely. It's a highly organized system that makes sure the right products get to the right destination in the right condition. Every busy castle produces waste and has old parts that need to be broken down. That's where the lysosomes come in. These are the castle's cleanup crew and recycling team. They are like small, powerful bags filled with special enzymes that can break down old, worn-out cell parts, unwanted intruders, and leftover food scraps. By digesting all of this waste, the lysosomes keep the castle clean and tidy. They also recycle the raw materials, which can then be used again by the ribosome builders to create new things. This process is essential for keeping the cell healthy and free of junk. Of course, a castle as busy as this one needs a lot of energy to keep running. That energy is produced in special power plants called mitochondria. These are the mighty forges of our cell castle. Inside the mitochondria, food molecules are combined with oxygen to release a huge amount of energy. This energy is stored in a special molecule that acts like a tiny rechargeable battery for the cell. Every single activity, from building proteins to cleaning up waste, requires energy from the mitochondria. They are truly the powerhouses of the cell, fueling every single job that needs to be done. Now, animal cells are amazing, but plant cells are a little different. They are like castles that have been upgraded into even stronger fortresses. The first thing you'd notice is that a plant cell has an extra wall. Outside the flexible cell membrane, there is a thick, rigid structure called the cell wall. This is like building a second, much stronger stone wall around the entire castle. This rigid wall gives the plant cell a fixed, often rectangular shape. It provides extra strength and support, which is how plants, like tall trees, can stand up straight and strong against gravity. Next, if you look inside a plant cell fortress, you'll find something an animal cell doesn't have: chloroplasts. These are like the castle's own personal gardens and chefs, all rolled into one. Chloroplasts are special organelles that can capture energy directly from sunlight. Through a magical process called photosynthesis, they use sunlight, water, and air to create their own food in the form of sugar. This is why plants don't need to eat. Their cells can make their own energy-rich food, providing power for the entire plant fortress to live and grow. Animal cells can't do this, so we have to eat food to get our energy. Another big difference is the storage pantry, or vacuole. In our animal cell castle, we saw small pantries called vacuoles used for storing a bit of food and water. But in a plant cell fortress, there is usually one gigantic, central vacuole. This isn't just a pantry, it's a massive water tank that takes up a huge amount of space inside the cell. It stores water, nutrients, and waste. When this vacuole is full of water, it pushes against the cell wall, keeping the cell firm. If a plant doesn't get enough water, this vacuole shrinks, and the plant starts to wilt and droop. So, you see, every cell is a world of its own, a tiny but incredibly complex castle working tirelessly to sustain life. From the commanding nucleus to the powerful mitochondria and the hard-working ribosomes, every part has a vital role. Whether it's an animal cell with its flexible membrane or a plant cell with its strong wall and personal food-making gardens, they are all masterpieces of organization. Understanding these tiny building blocks helps us understand life itself. They are the secret behind every living thing working together in perfect harmony, and that is truly amazing science.